Hello there, my friend, and welcome to another exciting episode of Disney Travel Secrets. We are your hosts and travel agents, Rob and Kerri Stuart, here in the CMV studio in Windermere, Florida. This is episode number 457 with an original air date of November 17th, 2025.
And we just got off of one of the most amazing and shortest cruises that we have ever done.
Very packed episode after a coast-to-coast travel schedule.
Yeah. And so this week, we have the top 10 can't miss things to see and do on the brand new Disney Destiny.
Take it away, Hugh.
Hello, my friends. This is former Disney Imagineer Hugh Darley, and you're listening to Disney Travel Secrets with my friends Rob and Kerri Stuart. As you can imagine, I have plenty of Disney secrets myself, and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get this show on the road. Take it away, guys.
The last 3 weeks have been really crazy for us. We had a conference at Universal a couple of weeks ago. The week after that, we were at the Disneyland Resort for the Earmark Conference, and that is really, it's the Disney Agency Owners annual event.
I know. I love that one.
It was awesome.
Well, and then this past week, we were on the christening cruise of the brand new Disney Destiny, and it was everything we thought it was going to be and more.
To me, what was funny is that there were so many people that we had just spent the week with at Disneyland.
Right.
And then we're like all on the ship kind of hanging out, which was fun.
It was so much fun. And as you're about to learn, the Disney Destiny is the third ship in the Wish class. The first, obviously, being the Wish.
Well, of course it is.
And then the Disney Treasure, and now the Disney Destiny.
So if you have sailed on any of the other two ships prior to the Wish or the Treasure, this ship will feel very familiar and very comfortable.
And I liked that.
I did too.
Okay, now before we even get into all of that, we want to say a huge thank you and shout out to our social media manager, Sarah Moore, because she helped us while we were on the cruise stay focused on just getting content for you. Yeah. And she was the one that was posting on our behalf and making sure things were going up super quick.
And that is something we had never done. We try to get the content and just go, okay, we'll probably just get it up there later. But Sarah really is a rock star, and also one of our travel agents
yes,
at
she
Creating
is.
Magic Vacations. And we're going to share the most amazing social media metrics that we've ever had since we started social media, I think back in the 1900s.
I don't think social media existed in the 1900s.
Okay, in theory.
In the 2000s.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Again, this is episode number 457, and that is every Monday since March of 2017, a new episode has dropped. And you know what? There are some weeks where we're like, what are we going to talk about this week that would give you some good insights for your Disney trip? But this week, it is not one of those. We knew exactly what we were going to be talking about.
Yes, we did. So being invited to the christening cruise of the Disney Destiny, this is something that we've been talking about for months. And I will say probably one of the most amazing things as far as Disney goes that happened to us. And it's not just Kerri and I, it's the culmination of many years of hard work from our team here at Creating Magic Vacations of selling the Disney travel products.
And we 100% would not be where we are without our incredible team over at CMV.
So maybe we can do some shout outs.
Let's do some shout outs. Well, first of all, shout out to our team.
Yes,
I think that is first and foremost. If you are working with one of our agents, thank you. And if you're not, look for one in your local market for sure.
Yeah. Well, as you can imagine, there were a ton of social media influencers, celebrities on this particular cruise. So let's do some thank yous and shout outs to those that we met.
Yes. So starting with Susan Egan, she is the voice of Meg in the original Hercules. She also is the original Belle on Broadway for Beauty and the Beast.
Well, and Sarah had shared with us, oh, by the way, Susan had shared, we did a video of her singing last week over at the Earmark convention. And Sarah's like, oh, by the way, Susan shared your post.
I know. That was really cool.
And that video was something that we saw her do at the Hyperion Theater for the Earmarked event.
Yeah, and that was over at California Adventure.
Yeah.
If you've never been over to that theater. That was really cool.
It's I think that's my favorite park.
It's my favorite park too.
Of the six.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting though, because let's talk about some Instagram metrics. And you had mentioned this earlier in the open because this past week was wild.
It was something that we had never experienced. So over at Disney Travel Secrets account on Instagram, before we got on the ship, we had maybe 40,000 interactions in a rolling 30-day period, if you know that. And then it went to 60,000. I was like, I like where this is going. Then it was trending, and then it went to 90,000.
And then we really thought we had maxed it out when we hit 389,000 views in a rolling 30-day period. But wait, there was more.
As of Friday, November 14th, as we're recording this, the day we're recording this actual show, those views went to over 800,000 in the last 30 days.
Yeah. If you are new and this is the first time you're listening to our podcast, thank you for watching and for listening and for following us on social.
Almost all of those views were people that were not followers of the show.
No, and that's so crazy. So our followers grew from about, a little over 11,000.
Yeah.
So as of Friday, we are almost at 13,000. So welcome. And this is the biggest growth we've ever seen since we started on Instagram. And I really think it's because people were so curious about the Destiny.
I agree. And we do want to thank you for those that follow us over on the Instagram thing, because it really shows how big of a deal an inaugural / christening cruise is to those of you that are Disney fans.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to just give a little touch on the merchandise because it was extra special for this cruise. I got the ears on right now.
I know you have.
They're cute. These are the lounge fly ones. They are fun with Destiny. I love them.
No, so we've done inaugural / christening cruises before, but nothing like this. Like the merchandise they gave us was over the top. We're going to do a whole nother video just on that.
Yeah, which is another great reason for you to be following or watching us on YouTube, or as Rob just mentioned, our Instagram channel.
So as we boarded the ship on Monday, we were just kind of like walking around and looking at the shops because the shops were not open. But of course, as you might imagine, we were window shopping.
Of course we were. And we already had some things in mind that we wanted to get. Like there was a really cute jacket.
Okay, so we went back and forth with that one because I got like a pullover and you were looking at a jacket and you said, should I get this? And I think the theming and the branding on that was you. You were worried because they have this giant Disney Destiny thing on the back. And you said, yeah, I'm getting it.
I am. And it's really fun. So make sure that you go over and check out what we bought, our shopping haul from the cruise.
So as we were shopping and we spent way more time than we normally would, I saw this couple that were walking around in the merch area. I was like, they look really familiar. Why? Because they were. It was Alessio and Jesse Pacini. And we just went up and said hi, started a conversation. It was funny how many people walked up to like the group of us to say hi to them and get a picture with them. They were just really super nice.
Yeah, very, very genuine. Yeah. And you know what? When we're done with this, we're actually going to go over to Hollywood Studios. They mentioned they may be there. So if we run into them again, that will be cool.
He was texting me and say, hey, we'll be here. I'm like, okay. So which brings us back to a few more shout outs and thank yous. So on Monday, we were just out in the front of the hotel, the area where they drop you off. And we were talking to a fellow agent from another agency, a really, really good friend of ours, Kristen. And 2 girls just came up to us just to say hello.
Yeah, and they were so nice and it was so much fun. So a huge shout out to Cecilia and Donna. It's always nice when people that listen to our show or watch us on YouTube come up and say hi. We really like that. They are also travel agents and have their own agency. So that was super, super cool. So thank you.
Again, it's always nice to meet fellow travel agents, fellow listeners. And how about for the next 5 people that do that, we'll give you a $100 Disney gift card.
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
That was unofficial. Something I want to mention is that's why we do the show. We started this back the concept started in 2015. We started doing some stuff on Periscope, which is one of the first live video things. And it has morphed over a 10-year period to this is what we do full time.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun. And if you ever do see us in the park, we do hope that you say hello. I also want to give a shout out to the entire crew on the ship. Now, it was interesting because a lot of them were earning their ears, but I will say they had to live up to a very high bar because it was full of seasoned travelers on board for sure, but they did an incredible job.
There are so many things on this particular ship. Again, it's part of the Wish class. We'll mention that in a few. We were trying to narrow it down. There's going to be people telling you there's 30, 40, 50 things on there that you probably want to do. We did the same thing, but we decided that we're going to break it down into our top 10.
Yeah, so these are your top 10 can't miss things on the Disney Destiny. And I think just like with the parks, we don't want you to be overwhelmed. So I think these 10, if you experience this, you're going to have a great time. Now, just a quick note, we did not dine at Marvel on our rotation.
We did not.
And 1923, it's always just a great dining experience because of all the different sketches, art, concept pieces. Make sure that you enjoy all of your rotational dining. We did not get that opportunity on this one.
Well, the cruise was so short. And again, it was a very kind of discombobulated schedule where we just kind
it
of,
definitely was very different because they closed certain things for media. But here are our top 10. We're going to do this in a countdown. So let's start with number 10.
Wait, we're doing a countdown?
Yes.
Okay.
A backwards one.
So one of the things, and we've done this on the Wish, we haven't been on the Treasure yet. They have some really, really nice artwork.
Yeah. And so one of the things that you must see and do when you are on board is walk around the ship and just take a look at the artwork. It is everywhere. I saw some pretty incredible things like Star Wars. Yeah. I saw some Marvel art. I saw kind of your traditional, but it definitely is themed for heroes and villains.
It is.
So I challenge you to do your own art walk when you are on board the Destiny.
And in number 9, and this is something we normally do, we've done this every time on the Wish, is there's a ship tour. So on this particular cruise, they didn't offer it as part of what we were doing is the schedule. Do a ship tour, walk around and really, really get used to this ship.
Yeah. And what you can do is you can sign up for the ship tour once you are in port and connected to the Wi-Fi on the ship. So put that on your list. There are a lot of details and some really cool things that are on board. You definitely would not see if you didn't know to look for them. And we do have one we're going to share a little bit later. But yeah, definitely do the ship tour.
Next up at number 8. Edna a la mode.
Yeah, so this is the sweet shop.
Like, even if you don't like sweets, this is just a really cool place to go see and just, I don't know how Disney does this.
I know. The Imagineers did such a great job. Now, you can go and you can get your ice cream and you can get some different toppings. It is an additional fee, but just walking in there, if you love details, it was so, so cool. Like, one of the things were the drawings of the suits that she creates for the Incredibles are up on the wall. And then you got Jack, he's sitting there on the floor. So many cute, just little details that are in there.
I think they do this like with every ship, going from the Wish to the Treasure to the Destiny. I think like, okay, what could we have done to make this a better experience for the guests?
Yeah. And, the gelato was really good. So
it was tasty.
It was very good. Yeah.
We liked it.
Okay. In number 7 of your can't miss, and this is the Kids Club. So I know some of you are going to be thinking, wait, I don't have kids. Why do I need to go to the Kids Club? On the first day, they do an open house. And so you 100% can be touring it.
And go down the slide, which was awesome.
So Rob totally went down the slide. But here's what I love is it is Wreck-It Ralph themed on the outside. And then on the inside, they have a space there was like a little Arendelle princess room. They had this Star Wars room that felt like something out of the Galactic Star Cruiser.
It was impressive.
That was so cool. The kids are going to have a blast in there. You also have a Marvel area. And so again, it's geared for the kids, but take the tour because there are so many little hidden things. And also, I think the kids will get even more excited and get more comfortable if you have maybe somebody who's a little shy once they see. And, this is the best one that I've seen so far.
I would agree.
I haven't been on the Treasure, so I don't know what
that one is. In general, we
is.
don't do the whole Kids Club like tour thing, but
this time we did.
I was walking around like, wow, I wish I was a kid.
Yeah, no, it looks so spectacular. I think that is a very cool addition.
Up at number 6 is the Haunted Mansion. And when you go to that area, you may have seen it on the Treasure. It will look very familiar, but the drink menu is different.
Yeah. And so a shout out to our bartender, John, there. He took very good care of us. But a couple of things that are really cool is when you go in there, there is a story. And so there is a different captain.
They were so in character. They were so involved in the story. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like that kind of thing, I mean, they were
Which we
snarky.
do, of course.
They didn't want anybody to be happy. So many details in this room. And so just walking around, there's the ship that it is supposed to be the Haunted Mansion-esque, I guess the ghosts from that ship or what's in this Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
But I loved the videos and stuff because they did the Haunted Mansion theme, of course. Yeah. They had the Pepper's ghost experience. They have, at one point, there's a whole bunch of ghosts flying up. So many details. I know we didn't get to capture it all, but we did get to bring home a coaster from there.
We did. I will say I like this more than the hyperspace bar on the Wish.
I agree. Hyperspace Lounge and Haunted Mansion Parlor to me don't really compare.
No, and it was really dark.
It was very dark.
So let's talk about number 5.
Okay, number 5 was one of my highlights. I probably would have rated it higher, but I like some things that are a little more
And
in front of
we
it.
didn't do this in a particular order.
No, we did.
You might like number 8 more than you like number 3.
Okay, well, there's 2 of us. We have different opinions. But number 5 is the Pridelands dinner show. This was, first of all, let's talk about the food. It was the most diverse and largest menu that we have seen at one of these dinner theater shows. And then the show itself was unbelievable. These performers were so good. And so, of course, it's, the Lion King theme and that story that they're telling throughout. And I really, really enjoyed that.
If you've been on the Wish, it's like the Arendelle show. I remember a couple cruises ago, we were on the back table at Arendelle.
We were in the worst
like close
location.
to I'm like, do you want me to help you make some, make some drinks and sodas and coffee and stuff? That's how far back we were. This, again, if it's Arendelle or this show, it's
or Coco. I mean, any of the dinner shows on the Wish class.
It is about the location.
Yeah, you definitely want to get a good dining location. And I'll be curious how they integrate maybe some more characters, because one of the things that they didn't have in the show, and again, we were on a preview cruise, was the characters don't really roam around. And so if you are on one of those tables, we got very, very lucky with our location.
We had great seats. We did.
And so we were able to see the show, really enjoy it. What I loved is, and this is just like the Arendelle, is the back windows. It was like a sunset on the safari look.
Like the Serengeti.
It was so amazing. But this was a big highlight, and it is definitely a must do. Make sure that you do not skip this on your dining rotation.
So again, this is really about the location, especially since everyone and their brother had their phones up. If they were in the first row, they all had their phones up trying to record the content. There was even one Instagram channel that I will not mention. 5 of maybe the table of 6 just had their cameras up the whole time.
There was a guy holding 2 cameras. Again, this wasn't influencer and social media and travel agent cruise.
I get it. You don't want to be that person if you're on a regular cruise and you're blocking people's view of the show because you have 150 followers that need to see what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to number 4, where you cannot use your phone.
I think that was my favorite thing. They're like, no phones on this show.
Yeah, and so that is the Hercules musical. So the technology was so good. If you don't like musicals, go to this one anyway. I had to drag this guy. He was like, I don't want to go. But we had never even seen the movie. And so we didn't really even know what the story was. I mean, I kind of knew what the story was because about the story.
Just to be clear, we've heard of Hercules. We've never met him.
But we had never seen the show. But this production, it is Broadway quality. There's puppeteering, the technology that they're using, the lighting, the stage, everything. I mean, the stage itself kind of bled over to the sides. I was unbelievably impressed with this production, and I can't wait to see it again because I'm sure we missed some of the other details.
Of course we did, which is why you have to go back.
I know, right?
So up at number 3 is a place that we kind of gravitated back to, and I think some of the people who work for Disney, the cast members, same thing. It's called the Cask and Cannons. So many details of the 7 ships that represent all the ships in the Disney fleet. And so the lanterns, one from Pirates at each of the Disney parks.
That was a cool feature.
The compass that points to the bar, and some really good drinks.
So they have a really, really fun menu. One of the drinks that you can order, it's designed for 2 people, and they put it in an actual little treasure chest. And so when you open it, there's the smoke that comes out. It comes with a bunch of chocolate coins. So the presentation was really fun. Yeah. They also do serve food here. You do pay for it, but they have things like wings. This was just a cool spot to go and hang out. They do some trivias here.
They do.
I definitely recommend that you put this on your must-do when you're on the Destiny because it was really cool. I liked this specific location. It's very central.
Great. It was great.
The theming was so on target. I really, really enjoyed this.
Shall we move on to number 2?
So on to number 2 on your must-dos, and this is visiting the Sanctum. So on this particular ship, it is in the same location that the Bayou is on the Wish.
Which also means another shout out to our friend Danny, who we've known for years because the Disney Wish, he's our watch guy, my watch guy. And it was funny because he said, I told you I was going to be on the Destiny. I'm like, yeah, you didn't tell me when. So just by pure happenstance, he came aboard a couple weeks early. So always nice to see him.
Yeah. So the Sanctum is for you Marvel fans.
I think that's where even more people were hanging out there than the Castle
I
Cannon.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very fun vibe. It's a little bit bigger also than Cask and Cannon.
Yeah.
But they have some really fun drinks and both cocktails and mocktails. So
Yes.
a very diverse menu. But one of the things that I really loved were all of the details that were in there. So you have like Doctor Strange's cape. And so that was hanging on the wall.
That was in like a shadow box case by itself.
And then they had some great live entertainment there, which also made this a very fun place to hang out.
And
they
maybe
had the
because
floating drinks.
And we won trivia.
And oh yeah, we did win trivia here. They did have a trivia. And no, we did.
We did.
Yeah, it was so much fun. But the Sanctum, the theming again, really, really fun.
Yeah.
And it's a great location to just go and hang out, maybe before you go to your dinner. So you can
what?
have
I think
a
you're
before
right.
dinner drink.
That was a place where
or
everybody
after.
was just stopping by to hang out and grab a drink either before or after dinner. Great spot because it's right in the middle of the ship, right by the Great Hall.
Yeah, and if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see some of the cool drinks and things that we enjoyed and other drinks that we took pictures of. But yeah, we definitely spent some good time there.
So what do you think we should talk about for number one?
Yeah, number one is really, really important. And so number one of your must-dos when you go on the Disney Destiny.
And you guys are going to laugh at this one.
Yeah, but we're going to put it at number one because this is something that we have talked about for a long time. And that happens to be the chicken tenders, or as I like to call them, chicken tendies.
The chicky tendies?
Yes, the chicky tendies.
Of course. So we had them every single day.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a highlight of the day. We were like, are you ready for chicken tenders? I think we went one day at like 10:45 or as soon as they opened.
I don't even remember the buffet. It was like, we're going to.
We usually don't do
We're getting
Marceline
chicken tendies.
Marketplace because I love on the Wish class how they have all those different dining spots where you can get Mexican, you can get pizza, you can get barbecue, and then you can
Ice cream.
You can get ice cream. And then you can also get stuff that's off of Goofy's Grill, which is where you're going to get the chicken tenders. They do
He's
come
very
with
goofy.
fries.
And you just tell them how many you want, and then they throw some nice fries on there.
Yep.
One thing that really, really surprised me is because we do chicken tenders at Gators, our local restaurant. They didn't have honey mustard.
They were out of honey mustard. They usually do have it on, but again, we're on
shocked.
a preview cruise. I'm sure they will fix that one.
Who is the guy that says, we forgot the honey mustard?
Yeah, no, but it was so much fun. So those are your 10 things that you can't miss when you go on the Disney Destiny. And here's what I love. The Destiny is doing 4 and 5 night sailings out of Fort Lauderdale's Port Everglades.
Which means you're farther south, so you can get to some of the destinations a little bit quicker than if you're cruising from right up here at Port Canaveral.
But it mostly does the Bahamas stops, and some of the itineraries will hit both of the private islands. And if you are flying in Fort Lauderdale, that airport is so close to the port. And so it's not like here in Orlando where you're at least 45 or sometimes 60 minutes to get to the port if there's bad traffic. But we always recommend that you do fly in the day before your cruise just in case there's travel issues like there has been this past week.
There may have been some people that missed this actual cruise because they did not come in a day earlier.
And there are a couple of great hotels that we recommend. One of them is the Omni. It's right there. It's close. That's Disney's preferred hotel for Fort Lauderdale. And then we stayed at the Marriott Beach, Harbor Beach. Yeah, the Marriott Harbor Beach.
Yeah.
If you want to visit the beach in Florida on your vacation, that is the place to stay. So those are the two that we would recommend.
This hotel, it was literally on the beach. Like
and
you walk out of
beach.
the back part of the hotel, you're on the beach.
Yeah. And they just did a refurbishment. And so if you stayed there like maybe a few years ago and you're like, I'm not up, they've completely remodeled.
Yeah.
And so I was very impressed. I loved our stay. I do love that the Destiny is doing those shorter cruises though, because
I do too, because they're trying to get more people on the ships.
Yep.
Maybe you can't do a 7-day cruise, but you can do a 3 or a 4 night. Also consider this is maybe you want to combine the brand new ship with a trip to Walt Disney World, and you can use Brightline to get back and forth. Matter of fact, we were riding back on the train. So as of this weekend when we're recording, there's the Food and Wine over
the Food and Wine Classic over at Swan and Dolphin.
And I just started talking to this guy. I'm like, hi, it's nice to meet you. He goes, hi, I'm Todd. I'm like, I'm Rob. I'm like, he goes, are you coming up for the event? I'm like, no, we live by the parks. He goes, oh, come by and say hi. It was Todd English, A Blue Zoo.
So
Which
crazy.
was just again, the people you meet while traveling. I think that's one of my very favorite things is the people that we get to meet because we're in travel.
Yeah. So it was absolutely incredible. If you've never been on a Disney cruise, definitely get one on the books. All of the ships are amazing. And what I love is you get a step into different stories. So if you love heroes and villains, if you love Marvel, I would definitely get on the Disney Destiny. And you know what? There's going to be some people that are like, oh, well, I like this one better. I like this one better. I always say it's kind of like food. It's very personal.
You've said that for years.
I have. We all have different things that we like. And so I say collect all the ships in the fleet with Disney Cruise Line because there is something different and something special about all of those ships.
I think one of the most fun things for me on this cruise is that it was our 10th cruise. And we're going on the fantasy next month, which means we will then be platinum.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Make sure our status changes.
We'll watch that every single day.
Yeah, and so if we can help you plan your next Disney cruise or any Disney destination, make sure you reach out to us or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel agents. And speaking of which, we have until the end of the month if you are looking to become a travel agent. So if that's one of your goals, maybe in 2026, we would love to help get you on the path of being a professional travel agent. Again, we're looking for A-team players who are serious, not just hobbyists.
And I have several calls this week, and thank you for those of you that go and you fill out the form, you watch the video, and even after watching the video and seeing the content, you're like, I want to talk to Rob. So we're excited for those of you that want to cruise on the Disney Destiny or any of these ships in the Wish class. Again, thanks for watching or listening. Until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.